Okay folks, exciting project for me today. Probably won't be a super long video, which may not be a bad thing, but it's not that involved, or at least I don't really think it's that involved, but it's still pretty cool. And before I go on, I apologize about the tinny sound and stuff like that. Still running off the old microphone because our new mic did show up, but I'm having a problem mounting it, which will be solved very soon. But enough of that, let's see what's going on. I guess, actually, before I go over there, I should start with one interesting tidbit of information that applies to this situation, and that is on our steering wheel here. I cannot find the wires to activate the horn. Now, there's probably something in here, and if I did a little bit of reading, I'm sure that I could figure it out. But that made me think up of another idea, and it's something that I wanted to do for a long time. What might that be, you ask? Well, let's have a look over here. So, first off, train horn. I've wanted to put that in the car from the get-go, but the cool part about a train horn is, what do you need to have with it? Not a conventional horn button, that's for sure. Let's do a transport style pull chain, I guess. That's what you call it. Anyway, you'll see what I mean right now. Push, pull, switch. These guys are interesting in that they aren't that easy to find, but basically it's hard to show here. You can see on this little tab here where there's a hole, that pulls down, that activates the switch. So we can hang that guy up towards the roof. Got my chain here. That's all set. And I've got my little loop on the end. That's going to go through the end of this. And I think the plan is to mount it up here somewhere. Lots of meat stuff to drill into. I do see that I'm going to have to make a little bracket, but that's no big deal. And as far as the horn itself goes, I'm thinking the best bet is to mount it in here somewhere. There's plenty of space. So I'm going to get my chair out. I'm going to get started. I imagine I'll probably work on the switch first because that's going to be a little bit more involved. I didn't realize that I'm going to have to make a little bracket of some sort for it. For some reason, I thought there were mounting tabs on the side, but there aren't. It's just a screw type. But no big deal on that one. So away I go. So I've got my switch mounted up there. It was a little bit more involved than I thought it would be. I had a bit of a challenge just considering how everything was set up on the roof line here. It's a lot more curves and shapes and stuff like that than I thought. This a little bit flatter back here, but I didn't want to move it too far back. I wanted a little bit more forward, and that seemed to be about the best spot that I can put it. So now it's just a matter of running some wires down here and then into the bottom part here so I can get hooked up, and then mounting up the horn in the engine bay. Wires are run. That wasn't much fun at all. Got everybody sticking out down here. Then, like I said earlier, I think what I'm going to do is I'll hook this guy up into this fuse box here, our distribution panel, because we've got good power going to it. So I've just got to run the one wire to it, get everything all hooked up, and then run the other one out through the firewall. That'll be fun because I've got to follow the path. Switch is in. Power is run to where it needs to be. That means I'm heading out to work on everything in the front end here now. Get things wired up. I fear I have to run another power wire for the relay, which is going to be interesting. But we'll see. I gotta figure it out. Maybe we'll do a little bit of time warp action while I get this going on. Action while it's going on. I'll set it up and away we go. Actually, before I start the time warp, this is what we've got here. Crazy crumpled up instruction sheet. So I've got to mount this guy on the firewall, which is pretty straightforward. Mount this guy on the firewall, which is pretty straightforward as well. Got some extra bolts and whatnot here. Follow, I believe it's these instructions. So it should be pretty straightforward. The only thing that's going to be a pain, it looks like, is I'm going to have two power connections. One that's actually going to the horn switch, and then one that's actually just going straight to the battery itself to power the relay. So yeah, that's the one that it's just really a matter of running more wire, which is always exciting because I don't know where I'm going to put it. We'll see. So it's wired up with one exception, and that is the secondary power, this one here. So I'm just gonna complete that off camera. It won't be too exciting, it'll be a little bit of crawling around and stuff like that. But once that's done, that basically means the system is all hooked up and we'll be able to give it a whirl. So yeah, hopefully this doesn't take too long. Okay, so it's all hooked up, wired in. I've just got this, it's not, well, it's permanent, but it just needs to do some cleanup. I want to make it look like this side so it's nice and tidy. So now it is testing time. We've got to do over here. I've got the pull chain hooked up, but I don't have a pin tool here to knock some extra links out. So it's going to go up like this. But I figured, you know what? I'm not just going to wait to do that and then not do a test, just in case I run into some problems. But we can still do a pull like this. So I'm going to fire the car up, turn it on. Terminator is terminating. I'm going to hand this off to my lovely partner here. She's going to point it at the car, and we're going to give it a pull and see how it works. Careful of your ears.
Yeah.
There you go. All that messing around today, and it worked, which is a first because usually it takes me days to accomplish anything. I'm a pretty happy guy, so it's all done. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. See you the next time.